Hey everyone, it's Frank, and today we're zeroing in on a crucial area for any commercial driver in California, the tanker endorsement test. This specialized endorsement is essential for transporting liquids and gases, and it comes with its own unique set of safety rules and challenges. Let's tackle some key questions that will help you prepare for your permit. What is liquid surge in a tank vehicle? The movement of liquid back and forth or side to side in a tank. This dynamic movement inside the tank is a major factor in tanker handling. Let's move on to the next concept. How does liquid surge affect the handling of a tank vehicle? It can push the vehicle in the direction of the surge, affecting braking, steering, and stability. This uncontrolled force can seriously compromise your control, especially during stops or turns. What's next on our list? What is the primary danger of driving a tank vehicle with a partially filled tank? Liquid surge can be much stronger than in a full or empty tank. A partially filled tank allows the liquid to move more freely, creating powerful surge forces. That's a critical point. What type of tank vehicle is most susceptible to the effects of liquid surge? A tank that is partially filled, e.g., three-quarter full. This specific loading condition maximizes the internal liquid movement. Something to keep in mind. What are baffles or bulkheads inside a tank vehicle used for? To slow the movement surge of liquid inside the tank. These internal dividers break up the liquid's momentum, helping to stabilize the vehicle. Here's another important one. Why do tank vehicles often have a high center of gravity? Because the liquid cargo is often carried high up in the tank. This high center of gravity makes them less stable and more prone to rollovers. Something to think about. How does a high center of gravity affect a tank vehicle? It makes the vehicle more likely to roll over, especially on curves or ramps. This is the main reason tankers require careful handling, particularly on turns. Plenty more to cover. When driving a tank vehicle, how should you approach curves and turns? Drive slower than with a conventional vehicle and brake before the curve, not in it. Braking in a curve can initiate a surge that leads to loss of control or rollover. Very important. When stopping a tank vehicle, how should you use your brakes to control liquid surge? Keep a steady pressure on the brakes and avoid releasing them too soon. Smooth, controlled braking minimizes liquid surge and maintains stability. Another item for the list. What is the most important thing to inspect on a tank vehicle before a trip? Check for leaks, especially around valves, pipes, and manhole covers. Leaks of liquid cargo are a significant safety and environmental hazard. Always check. What is the purpose of the intake and discharge valves on a tank vehicle? To control the flow of liquid into and out of the tank. Valves are essential for safe loading and unloading operations. Moving on. What should you check regarding manhole covers and vents during an inspection? Ensure they are securely closed and free from leaks. Properly secured covers and vents prevent spills and ensure containment. Something to remember. How should you generally load a tank vehicle to maximize stability and minimize surge? Load it completely full whenever possible, or completely empty if not. A full or empty tank greatly reduces liquid surge effects, improving stability. Consider that. What special care must be taken when driving a tank vehicle on slippery roads? Drive even more slowly and use smooth movements due to surge effects. Reduced traction combined with surge effects demands extreme caution, very important. What type of braking is generally recommended for tank vehicles on downgrades to control speed and prevent brake fade? Engine braking and light, intermittent use of service brakes. This method prevents your service brakes from overheating, a critical safety practice. Always manage your speed downhill. Why must you be extra cautious when emergency braking a tank vehicle? The liquid surge can push the vehicle forward, making it harder to stop and increasing the risk of jackknife or rollover. This uncontrolled forward force can easily overwhelm your braking efforts. Be prepared. When transporting liquids, what should you do if the tank is not equipped with baffles? Drive with extreme caution, using very smooth acceleration, braking, and turning. Unbaffled tanks amplify surge, demanding the smoothest possible inputs. This is crucial for safety. What is the danger of having too much weight on the steering axle of a tank vehicle? It can make steering difficult and damage the steering axle and tires. Proper weight distribution is vital for steering control and preventing component damage. Something to remember. What is the risk of overfilling a tank compartment? It can cause structural damage to the tank or lead to spills due to expansion. Overfilling leaves no room for liquid expansion, creating dangerous pressure. That's a critical point. What does it mean if a tank is fully baffled? It has baffles that divide the tank into several small compartments. This design feature is intended to reduce liquid surge. Here's a thought for you. What is the purpose of emergency shutoff systems on tank vehicles carrying hazardous materials? To quickly stop the flow of product in case of an emergency or leak. These systems are critical for containing spills and preventing further hazards. Essential for safety. What is the legal requirement for attending a placarded tank vehicle when loading or unloading? The driver must be within 25 feet of the vehicle and have an unobstructed view. This constant oversight ensures immediate action if a spill or other emergency occurs. Very important for hazmat. What is a common cause of rollovers in tank vehicles? Driving too fast on curves or ramps. Speed and sharp turns are dangerous combinations for any high center of gravity vehicle. Be mindful of your speed. What is the most critical factor to remember about tank vehicles? Their high center of gravity and the effects of liquid surge. These two factors combine to make tanker driving a specialized skill. Absolutely critical to understand. Before loading or unloading a tank vehicle, what should you check for? Leaks, proper grounding, bonding if applicable, and all connections. These checks ensure the integrity of the containment system, essential before every trip. If a tank vehicle has multiple compartments, what is the best way to load them for stability? Load heaviest liquids in front or ensure even distribution to maintain balance. Distributing weight correctly minimizes adverse effects on steering and stability. Something to consider. What should you do if you notice a small leak from a tank vehicle carrying a non-hazardous liquid? Report it and assess if it is safe to proceed to a repair facility or if the load needs transfer. Immediate reporting and careful assessment are crucial for safety and environmental protection. Critical for any leak. What specific equipment should you check on a tank vehicle for proper operation during inspection? Vapor recovery kits, grounding and bonding cables, emergency shutoff systems. This equipment helps prevent explosions, fires, and spills. Crucial for hazmat safety. What is the maximum driving time within a work period for drivers of tank vehicles with a capacity greater than 500 gallons when transporting flammable liquid in California? 10 hours. This is a specific California regulation for certain types of tanker operations. Know your hours of service rules. What is the most critical safety rule when operating a tank vehicle? Drive smoothly. Smooth acceleration, smooth braking, smooth turns. Smooth operation minimizes liquid surge and maintains vehicle stability. Always remember this. Why is it important to control liquid surge when braking? To prevent the liquid from pushing the truck forward, potentially causing loss of control or jackknife. Abrupt braking aggravates surge, making the vehicle hard to control. Very important. What is the danger of making sudden lane changes with a tank vehicle? It can cause the liquid to surge sideways, leading to a rollover. A sudden turn combined with liquid surge is a major rollover risk. Drive with precision. What must you do before entering a public road from a private road or driveway with a tank vehicle? Stop and check for traffic, especially when turning left. This is general good driving practice, heightened for a large vehicle with unique handling. Always be cautious. What is the best way to handle a tank vehicle when it starts to skid? Apply controlled braking and steer into the skid, just like with other CMVs, but be mindful of surge. Skid recovery for tankers combines general CMV techniques with an added awareness of liquid movement. Practice smooth inputs. What is a partial baffled tank? A tank with some baffles, but not completely dividing it into small compartments. This type offers some surge reduction, but not as much as a fully baffled tank. Good to know the distinction. When driving a tank vehicle, why is increased following distance crucial? To provide more time to react to traffic and to compensate for increased stopping distances due to surge. The unique dynamics of tankers mean you need more time and space to react safely. Always keep your distance. What is the purpose of venting systems on tank vehicles? To prevent pressure buildup or vacuum in the tank during loading, unloading, or temperature changes. Venting ensures safe pressure equalization preventing tank damage or dangerous situations. Crucial for containment. What is the special danger when a tank vehicle is transporting hazardous materials? All the dangers of general tank vehicles, plus the additional risks associated with the specific hazardous material. Combining liquid surge with hazardous properties creates a very high risk scenario. Requires specialized training. What does the N endorsement on a CDL signify? The driver is authorized to operate tank vehicles. This endorsement certifies you for tank vehicle operation. Essential for tankers. What should you do if you must make a quick stop in a tank vehicle to avoid an accident? Use controlled or stab braking, applying as much brake force as possible without locking the wheels. Controlled or stab braking allows you to maximize stopping power while retaining steering control. Critical in emergencies. Why are dome covers on tank vehicles designed to be leak-proof? To prevent spills and contamination of the environment. Mismanaged or faulty covers can lead to disastrous spills. Environmental protection is paramount. If you are driving a tank vehicle with a liquid load, when should you brake? Brake well in advance of a stop. Early and smooth braking minimizes liquid surge and maintains vehicle stability. Planning ahead is key. What is the definition of a tank vehicle for CDL endorsement purposes? Any commercial motor vehicle that is designed to transport any liquid or gaseous materials in a tank or tanks having an individual rated capacity of more than 119 gallons and an aggregate rated capacity of 1,000 gallons or more. This specific capacity defines whether you need the N endorsement in California. Know the numbers. What happens to the center of gravity as a liquid moves within a tank? It constantly shifts, making the vehicle less stable. This dynamic movement is the root of the liquid surge problem. Always anticipate it. What must be done with an empty tank that previously contained hazardous materials? It must be purged before being driven without placards. Purging removes residual hazardous vapors or materials before it's safe to transport without hazmat placards. Critical for safety. What is the most common time for tank vehicle rollovers to occur? On exit or entrance ramps, especially those that are sharply curved. The combination of speed, a high center of gravity, and liquid surge makes ramps particularly hazardous. Exercise extreme caution. What is the danger of leaving any outlet valves open on an empty tank vehicle? Contamination or accidental spills if a new product is loaded or residual material is present. Even an empty tank can have dangerous residue, so valves must remain secure. Cleanliness is key. What type of vehicles are considered tank vehicles under California regulations? Cargo tanks, portable tanks, and other bulk containers designed for liquids or gases. This covers the range of containers you might encounter that fall under the tank vehicle definition in California. Important to recognize. Why are smooth operations, starting, stopping, turning, particularly important for tank vehicles? To minimize the effects of liquid surge and maintain stability. Smooth inputs are the single most effective way to counteract the unique challenges of a tanker. Practice makes perfect. What should you do if your tank vehicle is equipped with a vapor recovery kit? Ensure it is properly connected and functioning to prevent release of hazardous vapors. These systems are crucial for environmental protection and safety when handling volatile liquids, essential for certain operations. What is the specific fine for a first offense of driving a tank vehicle transporting more than 500 gallons of flammable liquid at a speed greater than the applicable limit or in willful disregard for safety in California? Subject to a fine and possible suspension of hazmat or an endorsement. This is a serious violation due to the high risks involved. Don't risk it. What is the most effective way to prevent a rollover in a tank vehicle? Slow down significantly before entering curves or turns. This proactive approach minimizes surge and rollover risk. Foresight is key. When driving a tank vehicle, what should you avoid doing that could aggravate liquid surge? Sudden starts, stops, or turns. Abrupt movements destabilize the liquid. Drive with precision and anticipation. What is the importance of understanding specific product characteristics when hauling liquids or gases? To know appropriate safety measures, emergency procedures, and potential hazards. Understanding the cargo helps you respond correctly to spills, fires, or other incidents. Know your load. A tank vehicle is considered empty if it contains less than 5% of its capacity by weight. This specific threshold is important for determining if hazmat placards are still required on a previously loaded tank. Know your regulations. And there you have it. Mastering these unique aspects of tank vehicle operation is key to passing your California tanker endorsement test and ensuring safe transportation of liquid and gaseous cargo. Keep reviewing, and you'll be well prepared.